Oh, shame on you. Shame on you.
I never thought about that, but it's just I mean I've become so obsessed with just trying to find somebody to help determine, you know, and like you said, and like you're totally right, and I kind of figured in the beginning. Well, here's the thing. The question I have is if someone's interested, is it because they're interested, or is it because they already know what it is and they don't want it to get out to the public? That's what I think it is. So somebody knows about what this is, you know. I mean, and then 2 years later, or 3 years later, we were allowed to put a camera on that wall. It changed hands, different librarian, but she was into it. She's like, okay, cool. 10 hours of video on the wall. Absolutely nothing. But we picked up sound. We picked up the copy machine came on by itself and it was unplugged. That was interesting. And printed out papers. And when I heard that on my audio, I went and I said, hey, can I get the, I didn't know at the time it was unplugged. I said, can you check the copy machine and see what it printed out last night? And she's like, well, what do you mean? It wasn't even plugged in. What? I don't know about that.
Hell, that's getting kind of weird right now.
Yeah, that's weird. And then you could hear someone, you know, stapling papers together, but there was nobody in the building. So, I mean, you know, and the camera's only on the wall, so it's not like, unfortunately, you get pan around and look, hey, who's over there? But
now, I got to ask you a question. Now, have you done research in that? I take it that library is not that old.
1967.
Okay.
No.
Now, is it possible maybe some librarian or somebody passed on while they were working in that library, and their spirit is still trapped at that library? Have you checked and seen if any of their employees passed on while working?
Yeah, no, right. No, we did that. I did that, and it hadn't. Well, I don't. Well, actually, yeah, one did. A woman. I don't know how long ago. That's possible for the sounds that we heard. As far as photos go, I mean, I got a photo of a child in there, like a very solid. I mean, well, I call him the shadow boy, but you could see his pants and his sweatshirt. But I got that night, I got a picture of that. So, I mean, you know, I'm sure there's things everywhere. That's just the thing. I mean, it doesn't matter what the building is, you know. I mean, a kid could have been from who knows when, but you know, we know that. We all know that. I mean, there's so many reasons behind possible reasons of spirits being wherever they may be.
Well, they might not even be. They might not even be spirits. They actually could be, well, people from another dimension. You know,
that's true.
Phasing in and out a phase. So I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. You know, like one scientist I had on my show, you know, said right now in the same room I'm in right now, there could be people having dinner right now. And in a different dimension, I would never even see or hear or feel their presence at all. They wouldn't feel mine.
Right. Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. And that's the thing. This is so out of the ordinary. And then the other thing too, on top of, and then I think it was, I don't know if it was before or after the time machine. I can't remember, but anyway, it's all a blur. But we have a few photos of what appears to be an alien type body. I mean, we just do not. Well, the library, there's one. It was a mirror. It was a reflection. It was its reflection in the mirror that Scott was taking, those round mirrors in the corner that they used to use for thieves. Well, maybe they still do. All the way across the room. And, you know, it kind of looks like Casper, but taller. I don't know. So that's not really alien-like. I would have pointed on his head there, but he has his hand on his hip and he's like, yeah, okay, you don't see me. But of course, you know, it was a mirror. But, you know, and there's another shot we have that totally looks like an alien walking outside of it's a closed hospital now, Kindred. It's a little small. It's more like what do you call them? Hospice kind of a place. But yeah, I mean, and we don't really, you know, I don't know that it was just, it's hard to imagine.
Well, you know, it sounds like it could even be a portal, you know, into another dimension or a time portal where they can come and go. And I mean, in a situation like that, I mean, you know, especially in a different dimension, The odds are maybe even capturing it again with a camera would be almost impossible. You lucked out the first time.
Well, right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I mean, I'm not saying that the 10 hours of video did I totally expect to catch this thing again on the video. I have a tendency to believe that it's harder to catch things on video a lot of times. I mean, the camera was total luck, but I don't know. I kind of think that maybe, the lens of a video camera a lot of times isn't able to catch. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you have, but I mean, it was a night shot is what it was being shot in. But I mean, I don't know. When we just have so many things just from photographs that we catch that we don't waste a lot of time with video. But I mean, I certainly, wanted to, hope was being hopeful, but there was just nothing, absolutely zero. And, do I think that comes through that library? I do. I do think, like you said, whether it's a portal or it's a stopover or whatever it is, I think it was there for a reason. And I don't think that was the only time. I really don't believe that. I think that is something that's ongoing.
Well, it possibly could be. I mean, I hate to say it, and I don't want to sound strange out here, but maybe it's aliens coming into our dimension, the same way that they say UFOs come through portals, into our planet. I mean, there could be portals all over, the Bigfoot people claim out in the mountains. There's portals where, the Bigfoot come through and go back into. Right. I mean, I could see it in that building too. I mean, age would have no difference. I mean, if they wanted to create a portal to come through, I mean, what better place to do this? Maybe through a library.
True. And you know what else too? That guy I told you about that approached me last year. I remember now too. Also, he said to me, he said, I think he said I saw that either he saw or asked me, did I notice? But I think he said he saw the hieroglyphics somewhere on the, what I'm describing to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know whether if he looked closer or he went and, looked at the picture himself, because you can go to our website and look at it or whatever, or you can, if you Google, if you go on YouTube and the loop version, if you go on YouTube and put my name in there and then put Time Machine, it pulls it up, the loop version. But you can freeze it and stuff. But anyway, the point is that, and I'm like, I don't think I really noticed that before. So did he know something that I didn't know? I'm not really sure. Again, it was really weird. That was like the weirdest encounter with the person.
Oh, but yeah. And you're saying
stop disappearing.
And you're saying that you contacted all these people, organizations, even radio shows, TV contacted you, a news department, and then they just don't get back to you at all. I find that kind of really strange right there.
It is, and it all started with Barry. It all started with his hard drive being stolen, and that's when it started. Like, you're not doing this. I mean, I'm thinking someone's like, you're not doing this. You're not going to put this out into the media. I mean, it's just a photo. I mean, there's how many people put out photos of UFOs? A bunch of people do.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, news places, sometimes they cover it. I mean, it's not just YouTube. Every now and again, there'll be something that, that they'll have on the actual news. I know it's rare, but every now and again.
Well, it's so many things out there that you can't justify what they are or account what they are. I mean, I have seen strange things in my life that I can't account for what I saw. And I think we all do, but this is kind of intriguing. So it was not even there like about a millisecond in length where it appeared and disappeared.
Yeah, it was just a flash so quickly that, again, I mean, he was surprised when he saw it, and Scott just doesn't do aliens. He's like, when we were in there the second time, he's like, he goes, I'm a ghost hunter. And I go, now you're going to do both, because this is what this is. It's not a ghost. We don't know what it is. And, you got to go with whatever whatever it is. I don't know, but I was just hoping to get it out to the public somehow, and somebody to have some sort of. I think I even wrote the people, History Channel, people that do all the aliens, the ancient aliens. I'm almost positive. I'm sure I did. I mean, who didn't I try to contact? But nobody. Yeah, they're like, no. So, and I mean, and I'm thinking to myself, even if people think it's not real, well, how many other things you can't say are real? Like you just said, you don't know. I mean, you weren't there. I wasn't there. I mean, it's just, this is somebody's story, or these are somebody's pictures, and there you go. I mean,
well, has anybody accused you of doctoring the picture or anything like that, making it up?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. And we had somebody else that's highly respected in the field. Andy Kopic. He's actually Andy Kopic actually developed infrared, or I mean not infrared. I mean he used to build lasers, but the full spectrum. He developed full spectrum cameras. But anyway, he came to the library later after he saw the photos, and he says, I'm gonna try to recreate it. We took like 800 shots. He goes, nope, nope, can't recreate that.
Well, if it's nothing there when he's trying to do it, that's the whole point. I mean, the thing, it sounds like it's appearing and disappearing like instantaneously, like it's maybe in another dimension, and
absolutely.
And it did maybe it didn't quite phase into our dimension quite right. So I don't know. I find that very interesting. I'm actually surprised that your phones aren't bugged, and you haven't had people follow you around, or have you?
I don't know. I mean, exactly. How would I know? Yeah. Oh, and we just watched the movie Snowden. Just watched it. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Or not? Okay. Well, that's one of those movies, and because it's based on real stuff, he's the one that's in Russia, that the whole espionage thing. Well, anyway, but it's for real. I mean, it's just that they will start. But the information, the movie, you see the type of information, how quickly somebody can just like take your name, right, type it in, and just certain keywords, right, and pull up like your family, your cousins, like, in another country, everything about you, just just with the right words. So
that's what really scares me. When I had Ronald on the show, and he explained how bad it is. People don't realize
really bad.
You can be sitting in your living room. Like in one case, he was sitting with his wife, and he was sitting and he was talking about the next day, him and his wife, he wanted a beach bike, but it was an oddball, brand. It was not a mass produced one. It's one that's really rare to find. All of a sudden, the next day, now, his cell phone, he said he claims, was not even in the same room. The only thing that was in that same room was his smart TV. Now, the next day, him and his wife were going to go out to a couple places that looked like where maybe they might carry that particular bicycle, right? Guess what started appearing on his phone? Now, he never searched the web looking for it. That's what he told me. So he never searched it for it would pop up from that. But all of a sudden, it was popping up on his phone, places that had it. And what he told me, a lot of people don't realize it. They can listen to you. The DOD, for example, and other government agencies can listen to you through your TV, your laptop. They can actually access your laptop. So if you're on a list and they're keeping track of you, I mean, there's so many different ways they can be listening in that you'll never know.
Right. Yeah, and I've known that all along, but I don't want to get paranoid, and I mean, I don't want, who wants to be paranoid, but I mean, but you can talk yourself down away from that too. But I agree with you. I mean, I've thought that ever since the hard drive was stolen, that I've had that thought in my mind, because that doesn't make any sense to me. No, that's never happened to him before, and it's never happened afterwards, I'm sure. I mean, it was just like, that's why they took it, because those pictures are on it. But I have sent those photos to so many people. That's why I think, like you said, maybe they never made it there. Maybe they never made it to anybody.
No, it maybe made it into one of these big, huge office buildings where the DOD or some of these other organizations, Black Op organizations, work out of. I mean, you could be possibly on the list now
Could be.
that when you talk about it or email people, if they think it has